Well, hello there. It's my pleasure to introduce you to a very special collaboration, yay, with the gorgeous Claire's Crafty Corner and Wendy from Toonpish Crafts. That's supposed to be people clapping, by the way. Anyway, let's get down to business. I'm quite proud of this. So, I'm going to talk you through a bit of a long one today because I decided to try so many different things. So the first thing I thought I'd do is do kind of a line design on coasters using acrylic black paint. I was inspired by Claire's recent video painting silicone moulds, and I'd been thinking about this. Has been in my head for quite a while, so I thought I would give it a go, and you would not believe how long this took, really. I didn't really want to film too much because seriously it would have been hours, and I have discovered actually that I cannot draw faces. So this is the second design I did, and then a bit of a cop-out, I'm afraid, decided to do like heartbeats. So that one top right hand corner is your heart skipping a beat, and yes, that Ollie Murs song was in my head. Anyway, moving on. So the first thing I did, this is me just slowing it down a bit so you can see all four designs in one. So the first thing I did was a bit boring, but I just thought I don't want to risk the second layer having problems mucking up the design. So I thought, just to be on the safe side, I'll just do one layer of clear resin just to preserve the design, and then I thought it would hopefully give it more depth. So here I am just heating it up. Never use a torch on my moulds because I'm always worried about burning them, so I always just use a heat tool, dirt cheap, from Amazon. I think it was about 20 quid, something like that. I'm giving it a good old heat up, but not too much, because I wanted these to come out really, really well. So as you can see, I'm thoroughly doing that, and I didn't do the bottom right hand one because I wanted to check that it was dry. This was pretty quick actually, that it dried out, only within about 15-20 minutes, something like that. And there I am just pouring the last lot on. Now this is later on, the next couple of days later, and I had so many ideas in my head for this. I'm telling you, I did so many. I did quite a lot of producing red things, and then I just wasn't happy with the colour. I think colour is just so important, and it can make or break a project. So I decided to scrap that and go with purple, basically purple and pinks and that kind of thing. So this is just silver foil. First time I'd used it, tried putting it on the resin dry, and it just was not sticking at all, so I had to mix it with the resin. I think you can stick them to the moulds again, as Claire's done, and other artists, but it didn't seem to stick very well to this mould. And of course I did far too much, but never mind. I think with resin I very often overestimate, if there's an element to something that I'm making, I quite often overestimate how much I need, as demonstrated here. Now this is kind of some like a metal mixed up with glitter, and I got these supplies through a Facebook group called Resin Supplies Den, and they are brilliant. You can get moulds, you can get inclusions, glitter galore, and they're really reasonably priced, and it's also a really lovely community, and you can just talk to others if you're having issues or you're trying to get hold of a specific type of mould. Dennis, who runs the group, he's just lovely, and he'll search for moulds for you, and we'll sell them at a really, really reduced amount. Anyway, so you can see here I'm trying quite a few different things. Here I thought I'll get a cookie cutter. I'm really carefully pouring. I have no idea what I'm doing here, by the way. This is just what I've been keeping me awake at night. And so I'm just pouring in some resin, and then I'm going to drop some ink. Give it a little warm up. And so the first one is Wild Plum. And you can see it's spreading pretty well there. I mean, I think I did this at 20 minutes after mixing. And then I'm putting in some gumball colour, which is like a pink, really bright pink. And then I am putting in some white. Now the white is a little bit heavier and you're pushing it down, and then I decided I want to put some boysenberry in because that's such a gorgeous colour, but it is very, very pigmented. I've not really done a lot in the way of dropping alcohol inks. I've watched a lot of videos, so I had no idea how this was going to come out. I remember this is a thinner layer on top, it isn't the full depth. And I'm really, really carefully, apologies for the filming, it's just, I promise you I will get better, please stick with me. And I'm just really gently trying not to move it around too much, just moving that around. Then I've moved it on to the next coaster. And I'm just pouring it in, and I'm going to leave that to sit for a little bit. Excuse me. So for the other two, the ones with the figures, I just put obviously the concoction over the figures because I thought I really wanted it to show up, and I'm just really carefully pouring in the rest of the resin so as not to disturb those two areas too much. Now this is, I think, one of my favourite colours. It's a duochrome, so it's got two colours in it basically, and it is by Pearl X, and I think this one's called Violet Brass. Isn't it pretty? And it's got like metallic colour and a beautiful purple. I used it actually in my first video on the channel, so if you've not seen that, check it out. Thoroughly recommend. So pretty. And I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm just, what I wanted it to do in my head, I had this heart shape, and you know the way resin kind of pulls into the centre, kind of wanted lines going into the centre in the shape of a heart. That was what was in my head anyway, and I hadn't seen anyone else doing this specific design, so I'm now going to tackle this one in the top right hand corner, and this is 25, let me think, 15, then 20, and this is 25 minutes, apologies. So I'm now dropping at 25 minutes pink boysenberry and another colour, I forget. Teal, I remember this one. And then I'm going to drop some white. Bit of a delay because I can't find the white even though it's right next to it. This is the issue with crafting, is you put something down and can you find it again? Can you, heck? And you can see it's not spreading out as quickly as the top left one, which was 15 minutes, not 20. And I'm just going to put on one more layer, and in a minute, whenever I'm ready, there we go, putting in a bit of boysenberry, because I do love that purple, it's so pretty. A bit more pink, and a bit more teal, I bet you. No, okay, I was wrong. Okay, so this is the last one. This is at 30 minutes now. And again, I'm going in with the violet brass and I'm trying to draw in the resin. Can you see how beautiful the left-hand one is? I'm getting quite excited at this point, how gorgeous that looks. And I really didn't want this design to move around too much. So I'm just literally drawing a heart within a heart within a heart. And we will see how they turn out. I have no piping skills, by the way. So the best you're going to get from me is a squeezed out silicone jug. So at this point, I'm leaving it to the last minute to really carefully remove the cookie cutter. Because the aim is to try and preserve that shape. And you can see my attempts for the first one are going awry already. But resin does what it wants to do, basically. So we're just coming to the demold now. How exciting! Hello there. So it's the moment of truth. I'm really nervous. So here are the 4 coasters that I've done. I have agonised over, I'm telling you. So total experiment, but I thought. So this was the one I poured, I think it was 15 minutes. And this is the silver leaf that I decided to put around the edges, and that is definitely going to need a top coat. That's if the other side is okay. And then I put the cookie cutter in there. I dripped inks in, and then I really carefully removed it, but it didn't really hold. It doesn't look like it's held its shape. But anyway, do you want to have a look? By the way, I thought it was very apt to use this. I received this as a gift from a lovely gentleman called Dennis. And I think he was fed up of seeing my boxes, my recycled boxes. And I get a lot of my moulds through him, and there are other preferred suppliers on his group. So they are called Resin Supplies Den, and I will link it below. But I'm going to do a whole feature on it. Anyway, are you ready to see the other side? I'm so excited. So dun dun. So let's have a look at the sides. So it looks as though it's dropped a bit, because these are only sort of half the amount. Look, you can see, because I poured one layer first, didn't I? Oh, I need to get the hang of this. Anyway, ready, steady, go. Wow, that's pretty cool. See, look, the acrylic ink has come off, but it's yeah, it's a bit bitty, but it has actually, that is completely sealed. I'm quite pleased with that. I mean, it doesn't resemble a heart, but I'm quite pleased with that. I wasn't sure if this would show up. Oh, thank goodness. Right, okay, so that's one. Now this one I think I did at 20 minutes, and I just kind of drew it in a heart and then I pulled it in with a fork kind of thing. So question is, what does it look like? And this is like a combination of glitter and these kind of these things, which are like metal bits. Again, I got these from Resin Supplies Den. Anyway, so let's have a look. I mean, it looks kind of lost really most of its shape, but I just love this colour with the silver. I'm really glad I decided to do that instead of go with red, which is what I originally was going to go for. And there we go. That actually looks pretty cool. I like that. Really stands out. And again, completely sealed. Yay! Okay, now this one I poured at 25, I dropped the ink at 25 minutes, but I didn't remove the cookie cutters straight away. I left it until 30 minutes before I took it up. And actually when I removed it, it looked as though it was completely going to stay as a heart. It would appear not, though. Resin has a mind of its own, as we all know. So are we ready? Steady. Go! Again, the white has dropped down a bit too much. Oh look, it's the other way round. It has kind of kept its heart shape. I quite like that. But I think it was just not quite deep enough in terms of enough space. I only put a couple of layers as well, but it wasn't quite deep enough because I did only half of that depth because I wanted to preserve the design. But yeah, it has kind of kept it, hasn't it? And look how wispy these bits are. Oh my god, I'm so pleased. I am so pleased. Look at that feathering. So this was 15 minutes. And again, the feathering looks pretty good in there, but the white has dropped down. And I did actually do several layers of colour, actually, before I put the white in, because I didn't want that to happen. But it's still pretty. I mean, let's face it, you'd be happy with that, wouldn't you? Woohoo! Now this one I had high hopes for, because I waited until 30 minutes before I poured the duochrome Violet Brass by Pearlex over it. Doesn't look as though that shape has kept. So, are we ready? Steady, go! Again, that is really pretty. I don't know if you can see there, but I think it kind of looks like someone holding hands. But you can see that the shape just hasn't kept. But it's still pretty, and that's all that matters. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and very many thanks to Claire's Crafty Corner and to Toonpish Crafts. I nearly got through it for, you know, holding my hand through this. And thanks again. Go see Claire, she's lovely. And go and see Wendy. Tell them that I said hi. Thank you so much for bearing with. Bye.